Hello students, today we're going to be working on lesson 9. It's all about advanced tables. So the skills that we're going to learn about are creating a custom table and summarizing table data. Alright, so it says that when a table template doesn't suit your needs, you can create a custom table in Design View. In Design View, you can insert fields, set data types, and perform other advanced table design tasks. So before you begin these steps, make sure that your computer is on, sign on if necessary, and start access. It tells us to open up Lucerne Publishing, so I'm going to go to my Infotech folder, open my Access folder, Data Files, and we're in Lesson 9, Lucerne Publishing. Okay, I'm just going to rearrange my screen here. There we go. Okay. And then it tells us to save this database as, so I'm going to go to File, Save As, click the Save As button, find my Infotech folder, Access, Lesson 9, and I want to save it as Lucerne Publishing-Final. Okay, and it says on the Create tab, in the Tables group, we're going to click on Table Design button. A new blank table is created in Design View as shown in Figure 9-1. We're going to type ID in the first field name, and then we're going to press the Tab key on our keyboard, and we're going to choose the down arrow, and we're going to choose Auto Number. From the menu, the Auto Number data type will automatically number your record starting at 1. It tells us to press the Tab key to move to the description, and we're going to type record number. Oops. Okay. Press Tab again, and we're going to type gross sales. And there's a field ID. Okay, we're going to choose currency for this data type. So I'm on step 10. It says, oh, we're still on currency here. It says click the decimal place row in the field property. We're going to click the down arrow, and I'm going to choose 0 decimal places. It says enter the remaining fields as shown in Figure 9-2, formatting each with the currency data type and 0 decimal places. So if you can't see this, you can use the zoom in feature here. And I'm going to type in cost of goods. I want to make sure that this one says currency. Decimal places, I have to change that to 0. And net sales for my 4th data type, and I want to change that one to currency, and I'm going to change my decimal places to 0 as well. Okay, I'm going to zoom back out. Okay. Then it says click the row selector to the left of the ID field. So I'm going to select this whole row, and on the Design tab in the Tools group, we're going to click on Primary Key. It says to click the Save button on the Quick Access toolbar, and the Save As dialog box appears. We're going to type in sales, and then we're going to click OK. It says pause, leave the database and sales table open to use in the next exercise. Okay, so next we're going to be inserting and deleting rows in Design View. So it says to click the row selector to the left of gross sales to select the entire row. In the Tools group on the Table Tools Design Contextual tab, it says to click the Delete Rows button. Okay, the cost of goods was deleted from the table. Tells us to click undo, and the field reappears. Step 4 says in the table or in the tools group, we're going to click the Table Tools Design Contextual tab, Tools group. It says to click the Insert Rows button. A blank row is inserted above gross sales field, and in the field name column we're going to type area and then press tab, and we're going to change it to short text. It says leave the description field blank and press tab again to move to the next field. Click the save, so we should be right now on the gross sales field. We're going to click the Save button on the Quick Access toolbar. It says to change to Datasheet view and enter in the record shown in Figure 9-3. The ID field will automatically be generated, so just press Tab to get past it. So save, and we're going to go to Datasheet view. I'm going to get rid of this field list over here. Okay. And we're going to enter in the data that you see right here in this picture. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit so I can see it better. And to get past the ID field, I just am going, oh shoot. I just lost my page. Let's go back. Lesson 9. We're on page 167. So over here, I'm just going to hit the tab key to get past the first ID, and I'm going to type in East. And as I do that, the ID number will automatically be generated. Okay, so to make it quick, because we don't have to type in the $ or the comma here, so I'm just going to type 423098. And as we're entering in data, it's always a good idea to make sure that you work across and not down. Okay, so I'll just hit tab to move past that one, type in West. 430. So I'm not typing in the $ or the comma, it's automatically added, so it saves me a little bit of time. And I like to use my numeric keypad to work. North, let's see. Okay, and then south. Okay. It says to save, and then we're going to close out of this table. Alright, I'm going to zoom back out a little bit here. Next, we're going to be using the Table Analyzer. The Table Analyzer is a wizard that performs the normalization process for you by examining a table design and suggesting a way to divide the table for maximum efficiency. The Table Analyzer helps you to design efficient tables. Okay, so we're using Lucerne Publishing Final still. It tells us to double click on the Books table to open it. It says to scroll through the table to become familiar with the fields in the table. So it tells us, to scroll through and kind of take a look at what this table is all about. It's all about different books that they must be selling and how much sales they've had, etc. Okay, so on the Database Tools tab, which is right here, in the Analyze group, we're going to click the Analyze Table button. The Analyze Table Wizard dialog box appears. Screen 1 appears. The first dialog box provides more information about the types of problems the wizard will find. Click the "To Show Me an Example" button to read more about the duplicating information, or about how duplicating information can lead to problems. So we're going to click says, well, the table analyzer looking at the problem. Your table or spreadsheet may store the same information many times. Duplicating information can cause problems. First, duplicating information wastes space. So if I click Show Me an Example of this, it says, every record in the table stores a product supplier's name and address. Suppliers all have more than one product, so information on each supplier is repeated many times. Okay, duplicating information can lead to mistakes. Causing mistakes. If you ask how many products are supplied by Pavlova Ltd., you'll get an answer 3 instead of the correct answer 4. This is because the supplier's name for veggie spread is misspelled. Okay. So it tells us to click next to go to the next button. The Table Analyzer Wizard dialog box screen 2 appears. This dialog box provides more information about what the wizard will do. It says click the "To Show Me an Example" buttons to read more about how splitting the table is helpful. So it says the wizard will split the original table to create new tables, where each piece of information is stored only once. You can now update in just one place the information that is used many times. Show me an example. The suppliers table on the right holds all of the supplier information, with one record for each supplier. Changes to suppliers' information automatically apply to all the suppliers' product. For example, changing the address of Pelova Ltd. Associates, the new address with all of the Pelova Ltd.'s products. It says you can work with information from different tables at the same time. Tying information together. Each lookup to a supplier's field in the products table points to a unique supplier ID in the suppliers table. You can look at the product and supplier information together. For example, to add pepper as a new product from Pelova Ltd., you simply enter pepper into the product field and PAVL in the lookup to supplier field. You can now list pepper from the products table together with Pavlova Ltd. distributor information in the suppliers table. Close out of that. Okay, we're going to hit the next button and screen 3 appears as shown in figure 9-4. It says that the books table should be selected in the list if it is not selected. It tells us, so make sure books is selected. We're going to click the next button and the Table Analyzer dialog box screen 4 appears. It says the Yes, Let Wizard Decide button should be selected if it is not selected. Click the next button. The Table Analyzer dialog box screen 5 appears. It says scroll through each table. Notice that the Table 2 box contains the year, which should be in Table 1. Okay. So year right here in Table 2 should be in Table 1. Okay, so we're going to click the year field to select it. It says drag the selected field to the Table 1 box, positioning the horizontal black line below the book title field. So I'm going to move it over here. Black line should be below book title field. Okay, and release the mouse button to place the year field in its new location. Okay, so right now year should be over here. It should not be over under Table 2. Okay. So we're going to click the Table 1 name. So make sure it's Table 1 right here is highlighted, and we're going to click the Rename button, which is right here, or Rename Table button. If you receive a message stating that an expression you entered is wrong data type for one of the arguments, click OK. The Table Analyzer Wizard dialog box appears, and we're going to type in book sales, then click OK. Next, we're going to click on Table 2 to select it, and we're going to click the Rename Table button again. Okay, and we're going to type author, contact information, and then we'll click OK. It says scroll down to the bottom of the book sales table. Notice that the lookup for author contact information field was added. Scroll through the contact information table and notice that general unique ID field was added as a primary key. It tells us to click the next button. The Table Analyzer Wizard dialog box, screen 6 should appear. Okay. It tells for us to click the ID field in book sales to select it, and then we're going to click the Set Unique Identifier button, which is right here. And so a primary key is inserted. It tells us to click Next. And the Table Analyzer Wizard dialog box screen 7 appears as shown in figure 7 or 9-7. It says notice that the Table Analyzer has detected two similar records, one with an incorrect zip code and phone number. It says click the down arrow in the first row of the correction field and select Leave as Is. Then it tells us to click the down arrow on the second row of the correction field, and then we're going to select Tomic to replace the incorrect record. Click to select it. Okay, so Leave as Is and Tomic should be listed in our correction field. It says to click the Next, and the final Table Analyzer Wizard dialog box appears. The Yes, Create the Query option button should be selected, and we're going to click Finish. A message saying the wizard could not rename your table because it's open, and the new query will be saved as books_new appears, and we're going to click OK. If Access Help appears on your screen, it tells us to close it, so I'm going to click the X to close. Your screen should look similar to figure 9-9. Okay, so we have new sales table and books. We also have contact, all sorts of new things. So your page should look similar to the one in the picture 9-9. Okay, so next we're going to be summarizing table data. It is often necessary to count or summarize data in a table, column by column. Tables that contain columns of sales figures or other numbers need to be summed, averaged, or counted to be more useful. The total row makes these tasks easy. So much like the bottom row of a spreadsheet, the total row is a feature in Access 2016 that makes it easy to sum, average, or count the values in a datasheet column. You can also find maximum or minimum values and use statistical functions such as standard deviation and variance. In this exercise, you summarize the table data by inserting a total row. Aggregate functions are functions that calculate values across a range of data, such as in a column. And it tells us that the total row is a row inserted at the bottom of a table that provides a menu of functions for each column in the row. Okay, so here's some functions, and many of these functions we worked with in Excel, so they shouldn't be too foreign or confusing for you. I'm going to go ahead right now and close out of the tables that are open on my screen. And it tells for us to double click the books sales table to open it. And then it tells us that on the Home tab in the Records group, we're going to click the Totals button, which is right here. It's the sum symbol, the E looking symbol, backwards E. The total row should appear below with the asterisk in the record selector column. Okay, so we're going to click the down arrow in the book title column, and we're going to choose count from the menu. The number of records in the column is counted, and the number is 11. Number 11 is displayed. It says to click the down arrow in domestic sales, and we're going to choose sum. For the international sales column, we're going to click the down arrow and we're going to choose sum as well. Okay, and then it tells us to save the table. And on the Home tab in the Records group, we're going to click on the Totals button. The total row is now hidden. On the Home tab in the Records group, click the Total button again, and the total row reappears. Okay, so it should, look something like this if you have yours done correctly. It says to save and then close the table. Stop, close the database, and then exit access.